Hey everybody, my name is Anthony and in today's video I'm going to be giving you my beginner's track guide for China. So getting straight into it now, we're going to be doing a basic run through of the lap, and then after that we'll be doing an advanced run through of the lap where I'll be showing you braking points, turning points and stuff like that. Then we'll get into the setup, and then I'll be showcasing a single lap during a race so that you can see how to basically go around this track when there are 19, or if you're in my team, potentially 21 other cars on the track. So as you see, we just went past the first couple of corners now and we're heading down to turn 4, I believe. You want to brake at the 100-meter board and then shift down to first gear at the apex and try to get the power on as soon as you can. Don't think I got the greatest exit out of there, but for this turn here it's completely flat out in 7th gear, and then you want to brake, go down a couple of gears for this corner, then put the power back on, then brake again at the grey patch, go down to 2nd gear, and then these sequential corners are pretty nice to drive, to be honest with you. I do like the track here at China, it's pretty good. And then you want to brake at the 100-meter board for that corner, hit the apex in 2nd gear, and then shift up to 3rd gear, and then try to get the power down as quickly as you can here, because we're pretty much going on to one of the longest straights in Formula 1, and if you lose time at the beginning, you'll be losing time the entire time down the straight, as I pretty much did myself here. But coming into turn 14, you want to brake at that beginning of the curb there. You can see we did lock up a little bit. We managed to get the car slowed down enough so that we could get around the corner fine, and then for the final corner, brake and turn at the 50-meter board, and then just get the power down as soon as you can and try not to invalidate the lap. And I think that was a 29.7, which isn't the quickest lap, but it's still, you know, pretty good in my opinion. So let's take a little bit more of a detailed approach here. So coming into this one, you want to start turning in at the 50-meter board, and then as soon as you pass this red like F1 TV logo board here, that's where I personally start to brake. And then when it comes to this corner, because turn 1 and turn 2 are so long and flowing, you sort of really want to just slowly shift down the gears. I'll probably leave a video in the top right hand side of the screen right about now that basically goes over how to position the car, how to shift down the gears when you're using manual gears on certain corners. But for this one, you don't really want to go as wide as you think you would. You want to actually stay quite tight, and then as soon as you hit that late apex, you want to be in 1st gear and then shift up to 2nd gear quickly. And then you basically want to do the same for the next corner, and then try to get the power down as quickly as you can. In this occasion, I don't think we really got the power down as quickly as we can, but for this one, you want to brake at the 100-meter board, and then as you'll see here, you want to brake in a straight line down to 1st gear at the apex, and then try to get the power down as quickly as you can. So for this corner here, completely flat out in 7th gear, you don't need to worry about that. And then for this corner here, you actually want to start braking and turning once that crane is out of your screen. I know it's a weird braking point, but it is the best one I've got. And then for this corner here, you want to brake at the grey patch and then shift down 2 gears to 2nd. You want to clip that apex really to get the best line through, and you want to sort of clip that apex as well. We did gain quite a bit of time there, but here's where we start to lose a little bit of time. For this corner, you want to brake at the 100-meter board, keep the car in a straight line, and by this point I'm already looking at the apex, trying to get the best line through. Once I hit the apex, you ideally want to go into 3rd gear. I went into 3rd gear when I hit that apex going into the next corner. And then for this one, you really just want to get the power down as soon as possible, because of how long this straight is. You don't really want to lose any sort of time at the beginning of the straight, or else you're going to be losing time pretty much the entire way down. So coming into turn 14 now, as I said before, brake at the curb, at the start of the curb, and then you want to brake completely in a straight line. As you can see, we do lock up the car a little bit here, but we did get the car slowed down enough to make it around the corner without losing too much time. And then for this final corner, again, you want to brake and turn at the 50-meter board, and that is a detailed run through of China. So let's get into the setup now. Alright, so we're in the setup portion now, and I'm actually looking through the setup live as well whilst I record this. This is my way of hopefully making the setup portion of this video a little bit more high quality for you guys, mainly because I'll be explaining my reasoning behind some of these options as well. So getting straight into it, the aerodynamics, 3/6 wings. Again, I chose 3/6 wings because you want to have a lot of straight line speed, because there's a few different straights on this track, especially that one going down I think it's called the Hanger Straight, or I may be mistaken for another straight, but I'm pretty sure it's called the Hanger Straight or something like that. It's a pretty long straight, so you definitely want to have the straight line speed there, or else you'll be losing a lot of time. And you know, I definitely always put more rear wing on than I do front wing, because under braking it's a little bit easier to get the nose turned in. It's all about getting the rear to be quite stable as well, especially when, you know, you're getting that traction down as well when you're exiting a corner as well. You definitely want to have that. The transmission, this is actually just a default sort of transmission that I tend to use. The 50% on the on throttle is something that you can change through the MFD, so it's not necessarily something you need to have, but you know, if you want to change it, I'd maybe recommend going to 55. What this basically means is when you're going onto the throttle, it's telling the car how much how different the wheels will spin. So if you have it at locked, pretty much the wheels are going to be spinning at the same rate at the same time, whereas if you have it at 50, the wheels are going to be spinning at different rates, if you sort of understand what I mean there. And you know, it's a little bit easier to get traction when you've got it set down to 50. There isn't really much of a difference between completely unlocked and completely locked, so that's why, you know, you probably want it down at 50. It does really help with tire wear, I believe, as well. I'm not the best when it comes to setups, so you know, I am doing a bit of research on setups so that I can come out with a video for you guys, just going through a whole detailed analysis of setups and how they work. And then 65 on the off throttle, to be honest, it's just a default sort of transmission that I sort of picked up from F1 2019, so that's why I'm sort of running with that. The suspension geometry, this is actually just a sort of default sort of option that I'm going with right now. It just works, to be honest with you guys. So you know, if you want to use it, you can use it. I definitely would recommend, you know, starting with this and then just tweaking it on your own. Maybe if you go on time trial by yourself, you can just tweak it and then, you know, see what works for you. But this is what works for me at the moment. I definitely will be tweaking this more a little bit later on down the line once league racing starts, you know, so I can get those settings dialed in for every track. And then the suspension is sort of where most of the play comes in. I'm rocking 2.7 right now. Could potentially change in the future. The reason why I have such high rear suspension, again, is just for the stability of the car. And then I've got 5.8 anti-roll bars. Again, most of my setups is all about stability, really. You know, just trying to get the most speed with the most stability of the car possible, so that's the reason why I go with those. And then 2.3 for the ride height. I might actually change that to 1.3. I'll probably, you know, maybe say in the comment section down below if I ended up trying that and how it works for me. So make sure to look at the comment section down below just to make sure that I've tried it and that I've given my opinion. If not, then make sure to comment down the section in the comment section below, just telling me to go and try it. For the brakes, this surprisingly works pretty well on this game. On F1 2019, I would have said that you're crazy to have 100% brake pressure, but for me personally, having 100% brake pressure actually sort of works on this game. So that's why I've got 100, and then 52 is I don't really want to lock up the car when going into corners at every corner, so I tend to have the front brake bias pretty low when I've got the brake pressure pretty high, and then obviously you want sort of vice versa. So the less brake pressure you have, the sort of more brake bias you want to have towards the front. That's just so that, you know, you can get the most amount of sort of brake force at the front without locking up the car. And then the tires here, you know, these tires are sort of set. It's just a basic set, to be honest with you guys. Once again, I probably will be going through this and sort of dialing it down at a later date, and if I do, make sure to look down in the comment section below, because I would have probably updated you guys on the changes to do with this setup, mainly because I will be changing all the setups that you see in these videos will be changed eventually. So make sure you look in the comment section down below to make sure that you get the latest updates on the setup. So if you want to see more beginner track guides similar to this with setup explanations, then make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel and stick around, because I'm going to be posting beginner track guides and setup explanations like this for every single track on the F1 calendar. So I know I did mention that I'll be going through a lap of China during the race, but I didn't realize how long this would sort of run over. So from now on, I'm just going to be giving you a basic run through of the lap, an advanced run through of the lap, and then we'll sort of get into the setup explanation for you guys. So I'll see you guys in my next video.